Hopefully this works. All right, we're live on YouTube too. All right, so I titled, for everybody on Instagram, I titled this video on YouTube as replacing your job with an automated business. By the way, I hope you guys have an amazing Friday so far. Posted up a hilarious video on my profile on Instagram with some true motivation. You guys should check it out if you haven't yet. But I hope you guys can hear me clearly, okay? I hope, because I am on the balcony here, and it's on a main street, so I'll try to talk loud enough. Let me know in the comments if you guys can't hear me or if I need to talk louder. Now, a lot of you guys are going to be watching this on the replay, which is totally fine, but I highly recommend you turn on my post notifications to catch the next lives, so you can get your questions answered, your comments, get some feedback on your business or whatever it may be. All right, but I've been getting tons and tons of messages lately from people really asking about the process of, or the journey of going from an employee or an earner to an owner, right? To an independent business owner. And, creating another stream of income that can replace your job, all right? And I'm sure it's no surprise to a lot of you guys, obviously, especially if you're following me. It's because most likely you've been looking into starting your own business. And quite honestly, I mean, there's, difficult ways to go about building your own business, and then there is some simpler ways, some ways that are a lot more automated, a lot less of a headache, more front-loaded businesses. And what I mean by that is you start, it takes a little bit of work, or a good amount of work and some specific skill sets to start these kind of businesses. And after a while, after you get it really up and going, it can be pretty automated at first, all right? And there's three that I'll mention here that you guys probably heard me talking about before, which is obviously e-commerce, you got affiliate marketing, and you got an agency as well, all right? A social media marketing agency. Now, I personally am, let me see if we got any comments here first, any questions. We got some familiar faces in here. What's going on, everybody? Let me know if you guys have any questions too, by the way. If you guys want me to tackle any specific topics or dive deeper into any specific topics. But I know where a lot of you guys are at, all right? So the whole reason why I do these lives here is simply, to share the fact that I've been there before and share what helped me get from that stage to the next. I can't tell you how to become, a multi-millionaire. Can't teach you how to become a billionaire, because that's obviously what I'm trying to learn, what I'm in the process of doing. So really my focus or my goal is to, help a lot of you guys get to like the $5,000 to $10,000 a month range. And the reason why I'm sticking to this number here is because, again, due to a study by Stanford, they realized, or they came to the conclusion, that if somebody's making anywhere from 5K to 10K a month, which will equal to anywhere from 60 to 80K, and so that can help the average person afford a roof over their head, shelter, right, food, clothes, some entertainment, transportation. And so that's about the average number, right? That's the whole reason why the magic number after college is like around 60K to 80K, right? I remember being in college and going to some of these like workshops where you get to meet the head of these corporations, and they get to tell you about how much money you're gonna make. And they literally pitch you on the fact that, yeah, you're gonna be making anywhere from like 60 to like 70K starting off, at least if you're lucky. You know, if you're lucky. All right, I've had some friends take on some internships where they didn't get paid any money, and quite honestly, I think that's fucking stupid. I think it's pretty stupid to work without getting paid. I think there's definitely a level to it, but if you're going into a corporation for an internship, they're just gonna have you shuffle papers. And I'm saying that not necessarily from experience, but because I have friends who have done internships. And so that's why I never really agreed with them. But regardless, right? I mean, college in general just, you know, teaches you these skill sets that are not valuable whatsoever. And in the modern world that we live in, there is definitely a handful of skill sets that can help you make that 5 to 10K a month. And you can make it with, I mean, the money, right? The money is obviously cool, but the whole beauty about launching an automated business or having an automated business is just the ability to take ownership of your time. That's really what it comes down to, is the ability to own your time again, right? True freedom, independence. And the only point where that can happen is when you're actually doing what you enjoy, right? Or you got a business that allows you to do what you actually enjoy. So don't get me wrong, it's not like, you know, I enjoy every single part of, or neither will you enjoy every single part of building an online business. I mean, as a matter of fact, like the majority of my work is done right over there, right? Where, you know, where there's nobody there, right? Where I'm not on live, where it's just me and my business partner and, you know, some of our other business partners just whipping up. And so there's definitely aspects to building. Some 6 supercars drive by in this strip right here, but anyways, right, there's some aspects to building an online business that, you know, aren't fun, that are pretty daunting, that are tiring, that are frustrating, that, you know, take a lot of brain power. But at the end of the day, it makes it, you know, all worth it. Why? Because I don't have to wake up to an alarm clock, and neither would you, right? I'm not on here to brag, and neither would you if you, you know, if you can start generating 5 to 10K a month. And again, there's 3 great ways to do it. All right. One of them, and I have friends that make a lot of money, and obviously we capitalize on these ourselves. I mentioned e-commerce, since we got a lot more people on here now. We mentioned e-commerce, affiliate marketing, and then you got social media marketing agency, right? And personally, I think that one of the biggest opportunities right now is definitely e-commerce. And the reason why I say that is because now more possible than ever can someone create their own brand and launch their own store and start putting their products in front of the right consumer for as cheap as it is now, all right? For as low of a cost as it is now, and as scalable as it is now, all right? And so I might, you know, honestly, I don't want to kind of just wing this whole live here. I do want to interact with you guys and see if you have any questions, any suggestions, because a lot of you guys do ask, you know, tons of great questions, you know, on my DMs or in my DMs, like message me on YouTube, Facebook, all that good stuff. But a lot of times I do want to hop on here and, you know, answer those questions directly. So please don't hesitate. Are you going to be doing any store reviews anytime soon in the P2P and loving it? About 2 weeks to launch. So we got one of our students on here, Only Subject. He's launching his store in about 2 weeks. And to answer your question, absolutely. Yes, we're going to be doing some store reviews. We're going to be doing tons and tons more inside that group, as we're going to be relaunching with a huge announcement. So that's actually what I was working on this morning here. But let's see if we got any other questions on here. We got my boy Human in the building. See, Human knows about automated streams of income. You should live stream once a week just to hang out and talk about entrepreneurship and lifestyle. Yeah, absolutely. I try to do that as much as possible. Honestly, I want to do it more often than just once a week. But sometimes, you know, we just get caught in the swing of things. So, M. Gordon asked, any tips on owning your own product instead of drop shipping? And absolutely. I mean, really, for those of you guys that don't know what Gordon is talking about, he's asking about the difference, or you know, just some tips on white labeling, all right, which is like creating your own product, putting a logo on it, as opposed to drop shipping, which is a little bit similar, except you can't brand it yourself, all right? It's just finding a product without a brand on it and trying to flip it for a margin, all right? Using things like Facebook ads, Instagram ads, and putting them on your Shopify store, all right? But white labeling is a little bit different because there is a lot of upfront costs. Not necessarily a lot, but there is a heftier upfront cost. Why? Because in order for you to get something custom made from wholesalers, whether it be in China, in America, wherever, you have to order, you know, in quantity, right? And they have minimum order quantity. So depending on the product that you're obviously trying to white label or private label, you know, it can be a pretty hefty cost. And that actually reminds me of when I was launching my my own clothing brand in high school. And so I think this will give you guys some perspective on that versus why I was able to get a lot more success with drop shipping than with white labeling, at least as a beginner into the e-commerce space, okay? Not trying to say that one is necessarily better than the others. They each have their advantages, and they each, you know, really more fit for different, you know, experience levels of e-commerce entrepreneurship. But when I was launching my clothing brand in high school, sophomore year, I'll never forget, I worked like all summer long in my high school, like cleaning gum under the desks and just like cleaning my high school in general. And, you know, I saved up like all my checks. And as a matter of fact, I think I told them to actually hold all my checks in the office so I could just go in at the end and just grab it all at once. And I mean, it didn't come out to a lot. I mean, it was a lot at that moment, like 3-5K after like literally 2-3 months of, you know, work. And so I invested all of that into like a printer machine and this like heat press, this like fucking huge piece of machinery. It's like a huge clamp. And I just started making custom t-shirts at first. And then soon thereafter, I decided, hey, I'm just gonna start putting my logo on. And actually my buddy Eunice, who's out here, my cousin Eunice, he helped me. He was there, and he helped me with the name. And we were actually in Harvard Square, like it was fucking freezing, grabbing some hot chocolate, and you know, we were going back and forth. And I was like, yeah, you know, I want to start making my own with it. All right, like with that brand. And so, long story short, I transitioned into making my own designs. But in order for you to get random or your own designs like at wholesale prices and get tags on them, you know, you need to pay up front. And so, you know, I put a lot of money up front. I even convinced my brother to invest some money. And so, you know, I ordered like 3 different designs, and one of them, all right, did real well. One sold out. The other one broke even, and the third one like didn't sell at all. And so I was pretty much break even at that point, but in reality, I lost money because I would spend it on like pizza or whatever because I was still in high school. So, by the way, that's when I learned the lesson of it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. I learned that in high school. But yeah, I mean that was you know, a prime example, right? Trying to white label. So really, I recommend that before you get into white labeling, before you start trying to put your name on or your own brand, I recommend you start drop shipping to really just understand the game of e-commerce. And you can do it at very, very low risk. And so by drop shipping, all right, by drop shipping, you're able to not have to, order everything up front, no wholesale products, no facilities, no fulfillment centers, and no shipping, right? Or yeah, the other supplier is going to take care of your shipping if you're doing drop shipping. And so you're able to really just focus on learning the skill sets that it takes to make money online, all right? And I hope you guys really understand this, and you're receiving it as I'm letting it rip. And so what I'm trying to get at here is, like, when you start off drop shipping, it's a lot less of a risk. You're able to learn without a hefty price, or without really having to be stressed out or anxious of, because you invested everything you had. And so, you can start up a Shopify store for fairly cheap. You can start adding products to your Shopify store from, suppliers on AliExpress. And, you can start driving traffic for as little as $5 on Facebook, Instagram. And, really all it takes is just focus. And honestly, that's what a lot of people struggle with. That's what I struggled with at first, the ability to just double down. I think when people hear, right, the first segment of this live here, and they hear me say things like, that those are my 3 favorite streams of income: e-commerce, affiliate marketing, and, social media marketing agency, they're going to think, okay, well, I'm just going to go do all these 3 at once. And they lose complete focus, when in reality, the way it works is you got to catch one rabbit at a time, right? You can only fight one battle at a time. And so I highly recommend you guys take me up on that advice. A lot of people think that they can. They're like, oh, I'm fucking talented. Like, I got superpowers. I can build 3 businesses at once. Trust me. Very, very few people have been able to do that. One of them being Elon Musk. And even then, I mean, it's not even that fun, really. If you're trying to build 3 businesses at once, it can be fucking daunting. Like, it would be stressful, right? You rather focus on one business at a time. A lot less of a stress. You can focus a lot more. You're clear. You're able to tackle one battle at a time. You're not overwhelmed. You're not going to get anxious. And that's really what caused a lot of people to give up. So here, what I'm going to do for you guys, I'm going to go ahead and plug in, all right? You already know what time it is on my lives. Ecom Incubator, all right? I want you guys to hop inside the Ecom Incubator. This is a system we're developing here that is honestly just an absolute beauty, all right? So type that whole link as it is, https.com, or you can just type in www.ecomincubator.com/mastermind. And really what you're gonna get once you hop inside the Ecom Incubator is 3 amazing things that nobody else is providing, all right? It's gonna be a blueprint without costing you an arm and a leg, all right? So introducing you to e-commerce. Wow, look at that Rolls Royce, yo. Oh my God, Jesus. So the first thing, like I was saying, is you're gonna get the blueprint without it costing you an arm and a leg, all right? Because I'm a big believer that, I see everybody trying to sell courses for like $400, $1,000 off the bat, and they're not even providing, you guys and other people value, which is, quite honestly laughable. And that's why it makes my job a lot more fun, a lot more enjoyable, because I know I'm spitting facts on these lives, all right? I know I'm spitting facts in every single one of the pieces of my content. And so when I introduce you guys to things like the Ecom Incubator, you guys already know how much more value you're gonna get once you hop in here. So the second thing that we worked really hard and long at, and it took an amazing amount of convincing to get the right people to make this happen, which is your own coach, okay? So some of our previous students that have gone through some of our programs got a lot of value, and they also showed a ton of ability to give feedback and help others out in the community. And so we would see them inside, the ecom, inside of our like Facebook groups, inside of our masterminds, inside of our chats, just really engaging with a lot of our other members. And so we asked them, we were like, hey, like, would you guys be open to coaching some of our other, members, some of our beginner, e-compreneurs that are just looking to get their feet wet and, just get started and get introduced to e-commerce. And obviously not everybody could commit to it for the simple fact that, people got things going on. But a few of them are actually, passionate about helping out others. And, the reality of it is there's people that make millions of fucking dollars that just have no interest in going on live and, sharing the game plan. Like, that's totally their choice. But I'm just saying, right? We found the right people to really help you guys kickstart your e-commerce business. And all right, and the last but not least, the third thing, which is the most important, is the tools and the resources to be able to cut your learning curve, all right, to take the guesswork out. And so really every single time my business partner and I have discovered a new tool, right, whether it be a product research tool, a marketing research tool, or an insight tool, automatically resulted in us getting better results in our businesses. And so, the truth is, even it's so funny, like once you get into the whole e-commerce or e-commerce space and the entrepreneur, networking game, you're going to meet a lot of people and you're going to be able to see them, across different events. All right. It's like pretty similar faces. It's a small world as the saying goes, right? It honestly is. And so every time you're at these networking events, you're going to see people, mention to these tools and resources as, precious. Like there's people out there that literally charge money to just give you, just to mention the name of a tool. All right. And what I mean by that is it's not even their tool that they develop. It's like, hey, if you want me to tell you about these tools or resources that I know about, I have to charge you like $1,000 or $2,000. So it's insane. But you guys can hop inside the Ecom Incubator right now as we're just launching it off for literally free. All right, you get a free trial. Check it out. Hop in there. Talk to your coach. See that there's an actual person that's gonna hold your hand and walk you through it. And yeah, I'm honestly, this is one of my favorite projects that I've worked on. And the reason why I say that is because I know that a lot of you guys are going to get value out of it. But it's all about what you make out of it. Input equals output. So if you ain't going to put nothing into it, no hours, no work, then so be fucking it, right? Like you're just going to stay broke. I mean, I hate to say it, right? But it's just the reality, So it's like, it's okay to make excuses when you don't know about what's possible. But in today's reality, I honestly, at a certain point, I used to feel bad for people, right? I used to feel bad for people that struggle. And there's some people, right, that are just incapable of, making it happen. And what I mean by that is, achieving their goals, their desires, right? Because they're handicapped, they're physically handicapped, they're mentally challenged, whatever it is. But then there is, the average person that by all means has, the mind or the brain power to be able to make it happen, but they just choose not to. So, I no longer feel bad for people. I kind of, detached myself from the outcome of like putting out this content and stuff like that. Not to get personal with you guys, but yeah, like I just detach myself from the outcome. So I just hop on here, I let it rip, I share whatever it takes, I plug in, some programs I'm putting together, knowing that it's not going to be for everybody. It's not going to be for every single one of you guys, but for those of you that, are at that point in time in your life where, you're really, really starting to feel that pressure of, oh my God, is this what I want to do for the next 5, 10, 20 years? And, some people have that moment early on in their life, which is, it could be a good thing. And some people have it later on, right? Like there's tons of millionaires, billionaires that have had it way later on in their life. Like, I think the founder of KFC was like 30 something, 36, 38. Walt Disney, he was real old as well. But then you got some real young entrepreneurs, right? Like Evan Spiegel or Kevin Spiegel. Yeah, the founder of Snapchat. Something Spiegel. Pluto. Want to say hi, buddy? Huh? Want to say hi? So yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions. Anything you guys want me to touch on? FBA with Ryan, absolutely, man, or with Brian. I appreciate you guys hopping on. And I do get. So is this better than e-commerce course for beginners? Nonstop Rich, it honestly, I would say so, yeah. So what we've decided to do with our programs, like with any of our higher level programs, is really only accept new students or new members through application only. And the reason why is because we want to make sure that, you know, if you're going to invest or if we're going to accept someone into the program, then we got to at least make sure that they're the right fit. It's kind of like, you know, if you can't handle it, if you can't handle, you know, the information, if you're not really competent enough, if you're not at that level, then it's going to be tough to put into action. So we want to, you know, really take a step back here and make sure that we're tailoring each and every single one of our programs to the right people. And so there's different programs, right? Like private masterminds, where we meet in small groups of 5 to 10 people. There is live events where we have, you know, a little bit bigger crowds, like anywhere from 20 to 50 people, like the one we had in LA. That one was dope. It was real dope. We had tons of our friends come by, share what they do. We had tons of people show up from like literally all over the country. Some people even flew in from across the world. Like I think there was some guy there from one of the homies came from England. Absolute stud though. I know he's making moves. So the incubator is for beginners. Yes, it's for beginners, and at the same time, it's gonna quickly advance into intermediate level type of content as well. And so the reason why we put together the incubator is because we can do more things or things like you know, screen sharing and stuff like that, right? So hopping on these lives right here is cool. And quite honestly, I think what you guys really need is like, you know, over the shoulder type of content, right? Or practical value, where you see, you know, what to click on, how to set up a store, how to do product research, you know, how to use these tools and resources. There's a lot of, you know, I feel like there's a lot of content out there where it's like just, you know, just information, but it isn't really practical. Like I remember struggling with that when I was first starting off, with trying to build a business online in general. I struggled with finding practical value. So every single time I would buy, you know, like a course or I'll invest into a program, like literally it'll just be videos like this where people just talking or like bullet points. And those can be good at certain points in times where, you know, like you're trying to express a new idea, a new method, a new strategy. But if you're just starting off, really what you need is like technical and practical value. And that's like about 20% of the game. Then you got the 80%, which is like more psychological, which is all about mindset, right? Being able to have the mindset to start a business, to go through the self-doubt. By the way, give me a thumbs up if you guys watched that David Ferris interview. That one was fucking dope, wasn't it? I couldn't believe I landed that, but I knew right off the bat that a lot of you guys would love it. So I was excited for it. Like even my boy Jimmy, who records all my content, he was fucking excited too. He's like, dude, this is gonna be a dope interview. And so thank you guys for all the feedback. We definitely awesome. We got my boy Tommy in the house. I'm gonna record some content with my boy Tommy. Make sure you guys give Tommy a follow, man. Absolute stud from Boston. Crushing. See, he's tackling that third stream of income, right? That's his main focus, which is building your own social media marketing agency. And yeah, he actually we were trying to set up a time to sit down when I was back in Boston this past week, but honestly couldn't make it. So hopefully next time. What did you take away from the interview? That's a good question. Honestly, really what I went there for was to he had like this Instagram post where he was talking about reinventing yourself, and it's a great concept, and it really does. It would pertain to a lot of you guys, and I was hoping that's what everybody would get out of it, is the idea of having to, change your habits, change, the way that you do things, what you do, what you focus on, what you read, who you hang out with, in order to be able to get to that next level. So, when you're starting, and that creates a gap between you and your current environment, all right? And so I'll give you guys an example, all right? I'll just share like my story, I guess. Not saying that it's like what everybody should do here, like drop out of college and drop everything you're doing and move to California to do door-to-door sales by any means, but there was definitely moments in time where I reinvented myself, and it's like looking back into it, and I'm sure a lot of you guys too right now, if you look back into different times or points in time in your life, like between middle school and high school, you had to reinvent yourself, right, to fit in, and we're constantly doing that. But sometimes we reinvent ourselves for the worst, to confine ourselves, to fit in. I shouldn't have said that lightly, literally to fit in, right? To pretend like, hey, we love school, we love going to college, right? I put up that. I tried to reinvent myself for that, but I couldn't do it. So then I had to reinvent myself into an entrepreneur, or a true form of an entrepreneur, where it's like all money in, no money out. Where it's like everything is on the line every single day. So it's definitely not for everyone. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people that can't handle it. I mean, it's just like anything in life. Like, some people can't handle the gym, some people can't handle it. Me personally, I can do the gym a couple times a week, like 30, 40 minutes a day. Am I gonna go in there for 2 hours every morning, like my boy Juan does at 6 a.m.? No. But I accept the fact that, hey, I'm not gonna be as ripped as he is. So with that being said, like, keep that in mind. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to get as much money as somebody else, if you want to have the lifestyle as somebody else, then you got to put in that work that they put in. You got to sacrifice what they sacrifice, right? You can't expect to live, how you used to live in high school and make the same amount of money that, some of our students are making, that sacrificed a lot, right? So with that being said, guys, make sure you hop inside the Ecom Incubator. Highly recommend it. No fluff, absolute gold in there. And as a matter of fact, what I'm gonna go ahead and do, just as a heads up, Jamie and I were talking, and I'm about to take down all of my YouTube videos, or some of the best ones that are super valuable, but I know not a lot of people value it because it's free, it's on YouTube. And I'm gonna go ahead and just put them inside the Ecom Incubator as an exclusive behind the wall access, like a vault type of deal. And I'm just gonna start doing a whole lot more interviews on my YouTube channel and going on lives. So all that practical stuff, all that over the shoulder clicking, I did tons and tons of those when I was first starting the YouTube game. But quite honestly, it just became, it's just tough to put those videos out without weaving them all together to all make sense. Okay, so they're gonna be super choppy, and sometimes I can confuse people more than it can help them. So really what I wanna do is just like take the best piece of content and kind of line them up together to be able to, get people to produce results, step by step. So yeah, I'm gonna let that ride here, or I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave you guys for the day here, and hopefully we'll catch up this weekend. Shoot me any DMs if you guys have any good topics for these lives here. Again, what I wanted to focus on is how you guys can go ahead and replace your income replace income with an online business, an automated one that allows you to start living life on your own terms and really just taking control back of your time. And one of the best ways to do it is to hop inside the Ecom Incubator, for sure. All right, for sure. long time in the works, took a lot of people to put it together, a lot of resources, a lot of energy, and it's definitely one of a kind. So go ahead, check out that link. There should be a video on explaining it in more detail. So peace out, love you guys so much, and I will see you soon. Bye.